Hi, this is Mr. Bidul Afridi. Today I'm going to teach you present perfect tense in detail. Those students who have problems with present perfect tense, they must watch this video. After watching this video, they will not have any problems with present perfect tense. In this video, I'm going to teach you all the important uses of present perfect tense. So, as you know that these are all structures that we use. First one is positive structure. You need to use subject, have, has, third form of verb, rest of the sentence. In present perfect tense, we always use third form of verb. Remember that you need to use third form of verb. First, you need to use subject, have, and has. Then after subject, you need to use have and has. Or if you need have, then you need to use have, or if you need has there, you should use has. These are helping verbs of present perfect tense. These helping verbs we use in present perfect tense. Have we use for plural nouns and pronouns. Has is used for singular nouns and pronouns. If you have singular nouns and pronouns, you must use has. If you have plural nouns and pronouns, you should use have. And after have, has, you need to use third form of verb and then rest of the sentence. Negative structure, if you want to change positive statement into negative one, then you need to follow this structure. Subject, have, has. Got it? Has is used for singular nouns and pronouns. Have we use for plural nouns and pronouns. And after have, has, we use not. So it will change to negative statement or sentences. And then third form of verb. After third form of verb, you can use rest of the sentence. Interrogative. If you want to change a positive statement into interrogative one, then you need to use has or have. You need to use have or has at the beginning. And then subject and third form of verb, rest of the sentence. This is interrogative structure. If you want to change a sentence into interrogative, or if you want to ask a question, then you need to follow this structure. For example, how can you use an example? How can you make an example or a sentence in present perfect tense? Subject is suppose I, and then have. We use have with I have. Well, third form of verb. Third form of write is written. I have written a letter. I have written a letter. I have written a letter. Well, this means we use present perfect tense when the time is not specific. Present perfect tense is used to show an action or state that happened or did not happen at a specific time in the past. Time is not specific in present perfect tense. Time is not mentioned in present perfect tense. If you want to mention the time, then you need to use simple past tense. In present perfect tense, mentioning of time is not important, or we cannot mention the time in present perfect tense because it is not necessary. I have written a letter. You can also say, you can use adverb of time, I have already. You can say, I have already written a letter. I have already written a letter. Already means before. You can also use recently or lately. They mean before. You can say, I have written a letter recently. I have written a letter lately. You can use recently, lately, or already. Already in positive sentences. If you want to change this one into negative, then you need to use this second structure. Suppose if you want to change this one into negative, you can say, I have not written a letter. I have not written a letter. I have not written a letter. Or if you want to change this one into interrogative, you can say, have. At the beginning, you can use, have you irrigated the flowers? Irrigated the flowers. Have you irrigated the flowers? You can also use yet. Yet means up to now. You can use yet. Have you irrigated the flowers yet? Well, up to now. You can use have at the beginning if you want to change a positive statement into interrogative one. You can follow the last structure, have, has. Well, present perfect tense is also used to talk about repeated actions. if you want to talk about repeated action in present perfect tense, then you need to use, you can use, like if I say, I have been to Afghanistan many times. You can say many times. I have been to Afghanistan many times. Or you can say, I have been to Afghanistan several times, a couple of times, twice, once in my life. You can use these adverbs of frequency in present perfect tense if you want to talk about repeated action. Once in my lifetime, or you can say many times, a couple of times, several times. I have written this letter several times, many times, when you want to talk about repeated actions. Well, the third usage of present perfect tense, you can use there since in for. Since and for you can use in present perfect tense. In that case, present perfect tense started in the past, comes to present, or continues to present, and it may or may not go to future. In this case, we use since and for. Since if I say, I have lived in Peshawar since 2012. You can use since 2012. You can use since with starting point. And for you can use for total duration of time. You can say, he has stayed. He has stayed here for 3 days. 3 days. Well, here in this case, present perfect tense started in the past and continues to the present. It may or may not go to the future. Like I have lived in Pakistan or in Peshawar since 2012. 2012. It means that this action started in the past and it continues to the present. Got it? Because it is in the present and we don't know about the future if it goes to future. So then we can say that started in the past, comes to present, and it will go to future. He has stayed here for 3 days. 3 days, it means that this action started in the past. Well, it continues to the present, and we don't know about future. It may or may not go to future. So these are the uses of present perfect tense. Bear in mind, present perfect tense has 3 uses. The first usage, that something happened in the past or did not happen in the past. The time is not specific. We do not mention the time. Mentioning of time is not important in present perfect tense. In this case, you can use already, recently, lately, or just. You can say, I have written a letter. She has gone to America. She has played cricket. Well, or she has already played cricket. This is the first usage of present perfect tense. The second usage of present perfect tense, here it talks about repeated actions. And if you want to talk about repeated actions, then you can use several times, a couple of times, once in my life, or for 2 times, or twice you can say, or 3 times. These things you can use if you want to talk about repeated actions. If I say, well, she has attempted that paper many times or several times. In the third usage of present perfect tense, when some things started in the past, continues to the present, and it may or may not go to future. But in this case, you must use since and for. Since is used with starting point, and for is used for the total duration of time. You can say, she has lived here since 2010. She has studied since morning. She has studied since morning. I have worked for 3 hours. I haven't worked for 3 hours. She hasn't worked for 3 hours. Have you worked for 3 hours? No, I haven't worked for 3 hours. In interrogative or negative, you can also use yet. Yet means up to now. Up to now. Have you played cricket yet? No, I haven't played cricket yet. In question, you can also use ever. Ever, then you can answer the question ever with never or with many times or several times. Suppose, have you, for example, if I make an example, if I say, have you ever seen Kabul? Kabul, have you ever seen Kabul? It means, have you been to Kabul? Or have you visited Kabul? Or did you see Kabul? So you can say, have you ever, at any time in your life. So you can say, no, I have never seen Kabul. Then you can answer with never. If you want to give a negative response, then you can use never for ever. Or if you say yes, then you can answer with several times. Suppose if I say, have you ever seen Kabul? Yes, I have seen Kabul many times. I have been to Kabul twice in my life. Well, I have been to Kabul once. You can just answer the question ever. If your answer is positive, then you can use several times, many times, a couple of times, once, well, 3 times, 4 times, whatever it is. And if you want to answer with never, then use negative response. If you want to give a negative response, then you should use never. Never means not at any time in my life. I have never been there. I have never been there.